There is a silent belief that imprisons millions of people in their mature years. It doesn't scream, it doesn't impose itself, but it lives quietly, somewhere between a sigh and a bill to pay. It's that voice that says, "I wasn't born to be rich." And if you've ever thought that, take a deep breath, because this video is for you. You've worked your whole life. You studied, you tried, you paid your taxes, cared for your family, survived crises, and still, it feels like money never chose you. It's as if prosperity were a language you understand, but don't speak. While some people already built wealth before turning 40, you feel like your time has passed. That financial freedom after 40 is a privilege for a few. And worse, you started to believe that maybe you just weren't born with that gift. But what if you discovered that this isn't destiny, it's programming? That this feeling of not being born to be rich is nothing but an inherited belief, repeated and reinforced over the years until it became an invisible code inside your financial subconscious. Science has already proven that the brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's repeated. If, since childhood, you heard phrases like, "money is dirty," "rich people are greedy," "money doesn't bring happiness," or "everyone gets what they deserve," your subconscious recorded all of that as truth. And it's that programming that defines your financial ceiling. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you believe you deserve to earn. We call this the internal model of wealth. It's like an emotional thermostat. No matter how high you climb, it always pulls you back to the level it considers safe. And safety, for the subconscious, is often scarcity, because that's what it knows. The mind prefers familiar discomfort over unfamiliar abundance. And so you remain trapped in a cycle of effort, without growth, work without prosperity, sweat without freedom. This belief causes deep damage. First, it blocks your ability to see opportunities. The brain, conditioned by scarcity, goes into survival mode. You think about paying bills, not about creating solutions. Second, it sabotages financial decisions. Even when money arrives, you unconsciously push it away, afraid of losing it, of being judged, or of not knowing how to handle it. Third, it lowers your self-esteem. You start to identify more with lack than with worthiness. Fourth, it affects relationships. Because those who believe they are not worthy of prosperity usually also struggle to receive love, help, recognition. And fifth, it ages the spirit. It steals faith in the future and makes you believe it's too late to start again. But the truth is the exact opposite. Maturity is the most powerful moment to reprogram the subconscious. At 40, 50, or 60 years old, the mind holds a richer emotional repertoire to understand and reinterpret the past. You've lived enough to know that beliefs are not truths. They're just ideas you once accepted as your own. And everything that has been learned can be relearned. That's the good news. It's absolutely possible to reprogram your mind for prosperity after 40. How do you do that? First, through awareness. No transformation happens in the dark. Notice where your automatic thoughts about money come from. Observe what you feel when someone else prospers. Envy, distance, discomfort. Those emotions are clues to what still needs healing. Second, through conscious repetition. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, depends on consistency. Daily affirmations, visualizations, and new financial experiences create new neural pathways. Joseph Murphy used to say, "The subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you keep saying, 'I never make it,' it will obey. But if you start saying, 'I deserve to prosper,' wealth flows naturally into my life. I am capable of building my financial independence and maturity," the soil begins to transform. Third, through symbolic action. Change something in your routine that represents a new cycle. Organize your finances. Learn about investments, even if you start small. Eliminate old debts with awareness and gratitude. These simple gestures send a message to your brain that you're taking back control, and the subconscious responds to coherence, the alignment between thought, emotion, and action. Fourth, through the reinterpretation of your story. Stop looking at the past as a burden. See it as a source of wisdom. Every financial mistake was a lesson in self-knowledge. You didn't fail. You simply learned what you no longer want to repeat. And when the mind understands that, the heart opens to the new. Real-life cases prove this. The American entrepreneur Barbara Corcoran, one of the sharks on the show Shark Tank, grew up in a poor family and struggled with dyslexia. She was told for years that she would never become anyone. At 40, she was selling real estate with difficulty, but decided to change her story. She studied financial mindset, practiced affirmations, and began to act as if she were already prosperous. In a short time, she built one of the largest real estate companies in New York. She wasn't born to be rich. She reprogrammed herself to be. And maybe you're standing at that same turning point. Maybe what's missing isn't talent, but permission. Permission to be prosperous. Permission to believe that money can indeed serve the good. Permission to accept that abundance after 40 isn't an illusion. It's conscious maturity. Now ask yourself, who would I be if I weren't afraid to prosper? What would my mature financial life look like if I believed success was a natural extension of my wisdom? What would I do if I were certain it's possible to create a plan for prosperity after 40 for those who are starting over? The truth is that money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies who you already are. And after 40, you carry experience, resilience, and wisdom. It's the perfect stage of life to align purpose and prosperity. Financial freedom after 40 begins in the mind. It's not about chasing wealth. It's about allowing it to flow through a new state of consciousness. Reprogramming the financial subconscious isn't an act of magic. It's a process of healing. It's about recognizing old voices and choosing new ones. It's understanding that you're not condemned to repeat your family's story. You can honor it and still go beyond it. Because prosperity is evolution, not betrayal. When you prosper, you expand the field of possibilities for those who come after you. The mind is like software. You just need to rewrite the code. And the new code begins like this. I am worthy of the prosperity I seek. I deserve a life of abundance and freedom. I can create my wealth in maturity. Repeat these phrases with faith and action, and you'll see your reality change, not by miracle, but by coherence. Because prospering after 40 isn't a utopia, it's an act of consciousness. It's the moment when you decide to step out of the autopilot of scarcity and take command of your own story. And when that happens, something extraordinary happens too. Fear turns into courage, guilt turns into wisdom, and money into an expression of purpose. Because starting over is courage, not failure, and reprogramming your mind for abundance after 40 is the greatest act of freedom one can live. If you liked it, show it with a like, comment what you think, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe with the notifications on. Knowledge only matters when you take action. Check out the link below in the first comment and take the next step.